ayen was say one mo bom modern pa e was a year sciatica emu no ka sciatica nerve bi woni peduen my friend sciatic nerve e fire to ase ha netimi ya wo ya na ma wo to ase wuntimi ntena se ene ade ne wo nan nyina wo so ye ho adwuma enti se bibi sa ha wa wo de bra wono beboa wo papa ama ni nyina afiri wo mfidi a wo de agu akwam de ye adwuma scan na wo ye ene massage ne nyasem ketwa 21st clinic wo bo adwuma na wonya kodu ho mo 21st canteen me say efi no nso sharp no mas start serve aduane fufuo na opani adwene nkwan na se mo ana banku ne nyina bi ho no Ghana ha wa hita ba bia nkra dome market ho no mu kumase ha ehwa overseas ultra fa radio ho ebi ewo sunwane tachima go so sehwe wono na aso ya sene 0540 311 311 na we hear specialized drinks no ebi and next week nkwada yi bie enya afe na wo bekọ ma me na oton aduane no wo 18 covid nko a fa na aduane hye ne bag mi no won fa nko wo ma no emo ne abomu no ana wo the biscuit any special drink Akan ho enti special drink ni biscuit ni be snack no wadi mo no so no aye kama ahoade nkuto makwada ne nkototo nkwanche de fa special hye ne bag mu na won fa nko wo the special drink hye mu na specialized mineral water ensukroje enso eka ho eno a na ekosesei enti mabi empa ho ba bia wo benya bi na wo pedodo a wo 0241 774825 ye beje wo so na ensem a eba enne no na edi mu akotini bi ne se Penina na do dankwa kufu ado akasa na weni ni etwa to ni fie na ye dikan ya Ghana for the man no na ne nkasa emu no si o afi etwa emu ya abato ayetu ya wi abomu emu da ho se kronyin.
I said during the election campaign, and it is my firm and passionate view that I should only be president in a fairly conducted election, which I believe in all sincerity the election of 7th December was.
Nenkasa yemua wasaidi tuja se oba yemfie me se dikan otutu o man sika sam tutu ni ye pa na so afi bi esan ya ntuma bi di 2020 COVID-19 eba ye man sika sam no kwan na enam so tifri so kra threat.
The economy with severe macroeconomic instability, weak growth, a troubling financial sector, low investor confidence, and significant structural bottlenecks.
Otwa so ekasa ye echire musa enche Ghana ha wo bi wie senior high secondary school a wo betumi anya adwuma ye enam nhihye pa ye de egu akwan mu e wo gomashie mu.
4 years ago, it sounded recklessly optimistic, but free SHS and free TZ are now entrenched parts of our educational setup.
Yeguswa ewo eye ensemu a edi akotene ewo ene kasebo emu dom kasia ewo mrahebedwani mrahebedwafie eba no dani honorable Oseiche Mensa Bonsu eno ose mrahebedwane etoso nwotwe no wono mbehwe se wo beye adwuma asomudwemu na kabi mame nkabi age nhini Ghana.
20 years I've been in the leadership of the party in parliament. Go 4 times, I'm leadership. We started as deputy whip, I'm a chief whip, I'm a deputy majority leader.
We any semudo opini aboabo no no me nsaka se eboimu ede ebremu media menya kwatefa abronoma metwa kasebo no eso nana adodankwa ekufuado eye Ghana mampani na ene wakasa broni kokko esi state of the nations address nensemu a wode ma oman no ansa na mfie na ye dikan wode abawieye wokọ mrahebedwafie ede ekotudwa na nenkasa yemu no okasa edifa abatwa yeto ye no eho na wo kire se enche pi na Ghana nyina ekoto aba na aba Ghana fo eto ye no aba no awia bomu emu da ho ya chese na bibia da ne da wo bia hunu mu pefe woto aso echire mu se omampani dada ora John Dramani Mahama eye se wadi ko Supreme Court na necessary nkodi kan kra ekọ ho no mamra ne ye adwuma esense na menteme ho ase na oye kire ne ade yentie ne nsimo kan ye no ebi.
I said during the election campaign, and it is my firm and passionate view that I should only be president in a fairly conducted election, which I believe in all sincerity the election of 7th December was. Recognize that my main opponent in the election, the former President John Dramani Mahama, has gone to the Supreme Court to seek its intervention and grant reliefs that he believes were compromised in the conduct of the elections. It is good for the nation that in the end he chose the legal path instead of the pockets of violence that have attended the rejection of the results by his party in the period after the elections. We all have to make a deliberate decision to invest in the rule of law and uphold the integrity of the institutions of our state so that no person or group of persons take the law into their own hands with impunity.
Aha, entinema wo bia na se edom bia ni pako bia emfa mra nhye won sam boko nya kojan to ho ngumante so ye da bi emra no e wo man mu esese mra no ye adwuma eno na chichiri ye nyina Ghana mampani na nado danko akufuado ene yete no oto aso ene wo kire mu se wo ba ye mfie na ye dikan ne galamse yi wo kasati adendendenden eyese wo besi kwan enso na wo hwe ne kasa ma ase na wo ya ago ne ho kakra e wo galamse nsensem no ene wo kasa galamse nsem ne de ha o manyi papa nenso ebere wo ho se wonu betumi asi nkonwa na afane nyina wo bia kire na adwene ekwan a ofa so a ebetumi aboa ma galamse yetimi etwa so anase yebeye ne kwa yebefa so a yebetimi aye ne yie na yensase yensai no yensupa ye no so yensai no.
There is one subject though which I believe we the people need to have an open conversation, and that is the phenomenon of galamsey. Should we allow or not allow galamsey? The illegal mining that leads to the pollution of our water bodies and the devastation of our landscape. As I've said often, the Almighty having blessed us with considerable deposits of precious minerals, there would always be mining in Ghana. Indeed, there has always been mining in Ghana. The problem we have is the use of modern technology that leads to the illegal mining methods, posing serious dangers to our water bodies and the health of our environment. The pollution of our rivers and water resources has been so acute on occasion that the Ghana Water Company is unable to afford the distilling of water to make for safe drinking. We have to talk about galamsey. We who are leaders owe it to the country to take the subject out of the party political arena and have an honest conversation about this menace to our future.
Yemfa enukredie nkasa emfa galamse ni ho emma yendachi esanse eyade a esese yehwe ne yeka wose omanmu emfi abesin konie da bia ska okoye tu ofom na sese de abefu mfidi aba emma esenuoma enti yentenase ne yento ato adwene emfa ho na chese wo hwe a sese no ekwan bi so no ebeboa obi anya abotre ne yekeka nuoma ebekoye ba sikasem nso so a omampani kasai edifa omanyi esikasem ho na wo se ebra obefa edwa no se Ghana mampani afi 2017 omanyi sikasem na atete apansam ntoma ne ntokuro dedam wufra na kire se wo hu nyina sabi eguo na nso nyame ye nadom emu otuatua ni nyina tuatua ntokuro no tetemu ma ebeye kama afi 2019 ekọ na wie ye se na Ghana esi afa ne ntoma pefra ewo sikasem mu ya na nya sem ketwa wo bi ni mu ne eba ya fi bi esan ntoma woni bi akopa bitom wo se 2020 afi bi esan 2020 COVID yi ba ye ama abese wo meyi sikasem ba bia na ejina atekọ fom kura wase wo man ya nanka sikasem enyini GDP esi ekosoro wase ne ehwan ye free 6.8% ba ya 0.9 chese kire kura ne ba 1.9 na chese COVID no ba be ha adwin.
An economy with severe macroeconomic instability, weak growth, a troubling financial sector, low investor confidence, and significant structural bottlenecks. At the end of 2019, the economy was characterized by strong growth in response to implementation of government flagship programs, single-digit inflation, reduced fiscal deficits with 3 consecutive years of primary surpluses, relatively stable exchange rate, significant improvement in the current account with 3 consecutive years of trade surpluses, strong foreign exchange reserve buffers, and markedly reduced lending rates. The global pandemic of COVID-19 threatened to derail the progress chalked over the first 3 years of my administration. Its impact has led to the revision in GDP growth for 2020 from 6.8% to 0.9% and later to 1.9% to reflect significant slowdown in economic activities as a consequence of the effects of COVID-19 on lives and livelihoods.
Yeah, Mampeni Nanado Danko Kufuadu and Nana Walker so Chessing Femian say decline any inflation here but from single digit. Who seek a someone to talk come on so new year in our COVID by no Emma what ye took or ye chi was seek a semun soon kakra when him say a bay ye now what to us so Muse or buy a banksy bebre or one man now one mutoguso a biso so cry one would die ya peja 1 night I say one name were born near Banejidi Asha hospital no na chese ska krabia adwuma no bebre wa wonu mu a na coccidiosis acheche wo mo ya na enko yie kura na nso nyame adom wotimi efa Bank of Ghana so ema banksi bebre na nke begua ma manfo sika kam sika na nkam wotimi atuatua ni nyina na meka say Ghana sika 21 billion ene wakokwoji ya won mu de abo atuatua manfo sika kakra ama Ghana for dodo na ensa kan won sika na say de wokasi supo say sika krabia nyuma na ewo ho sese no ejinejina won na so pa.
The most difficult problem the government met on coming into office was the state of the banking and financial sector. Many of our banks were in distress and had been kept on unsustainable and artificial life support by the central bank. The supervisory agencies were unfortunately not performing their duties, and the governance and management structures of many of the banks were clearly not adequate. If truth be told, many of our finance houses were running what can only be called glorified Ponzi schemes and had lured many depositors into these schemes. We were in a desperate situation, and urgent radical measures had to be taken to prevent the collapse of the entire financial and banking sector. The Bank of Ghana, under new leadership, intervened and has restored sanity to the sector, and in the process, we have saved the banks involved and 4.6 million depositors' funds. The government has had to find some 21 billion cedis to fund the cleaning up exercise. This exercise has enabled a more robust financial and banking services sector to emerge, the better to finance the rapid development of our nation. The government is committed to paying all validated claims, and I expect the process to be completed soon after the courts grant the liquidation of order for the remaining failed fund management companies.
Enti wo wie bank de no no de ba ngumesua no wo kase ngumesua so se ekwana nimpa na se no free senior high yi eboa na free TVET technical any vocational education no eno so kura abebom no bema enche kura mfie kakra di yanim beba no enkwada wie secondary school mbenya adwuma ye Ghana ha amasumudwaba na enye se gi so kowie suapon anase polytechnic ansana wose ne TVET titiriwada romanti enche kura kwada wie senior high obenya adwuma ye wo Ghana.
4 years ago, it sounded recklessly optimistic, but free SHS and free TVET are now entrenched parts of our educational setup. In a few years' time, we can guarantee that the basic education for the workforce in our country will be at the secondary level. It is a transformational step that we have taken, which should quicken the pace of development all round and give us confidence in our future.
Na chese we no beboa ema yenya ni da so da achi mu se akwada nya wie senior high kwa de a TVET ne adinti no wono susu ebetumi enya adwuma ede ne nsa aye na eba apomodin sem ho a wokto aso ene wo kire mu se COVID-19 yi ababe ha oman yi de na so kwan bi so abeboa ene sen apomodi adwuma ne de aboa wono mo pa esan se eniema hodo a eboa ema apomodi adwuma ne konkan ya na wono mo eni bia na wakasa fa ho a na edi wonya COVID adawromenti COVID na boa ma won matimi atoto dodo na ama se apomodi adwuma mu no wokọ wanim emfidi aboa ema apomodi adwuma akoso ene ne ma hodo wo se wode toto emre bi atwam ana chese de eye pa na agenda 111 no so won ma hyase ya chese ayaresa bia de wo besisi bebre e wo Ghana hanomo e de aboa apomodin.
COVID-19 pandemic has shaken economies and public health systems the world over and brought even some of the wealthiest and most developed countries to their knees. Government has succeeded in restoring the highly indebted National Health Insurance Scheme inherited in January 2017 back to rude health. Some 95,000 health workers were recruited into the public health sector, and we ensured that each constituency now has a well-equipped, functioning ambulance. COVID-19 has presented us with the opportunity to resolve some long-standing problems in the health sector. We have taken steps to resolve the problem of infrastructure deficit in the healthcare system once and for all, with the exemption of Agenda 111 and the start of the building of hospitals around the country. We are upgrading district hospitals where they exist and establishing new ones where they do not. We're also investing in our next generation of Ghanaian doctors and nurses.
A nurse for a doctor for ebeba ye disike urema boa so benyansi epa ene no danchan kura health insurance e ka na da ho yetimi atua a nurse for dodo a yafa woni apomudi adwumanya asem keto a enti covid e wo musa afi bi esan ebe ha adwune na so kwa bi so no ama yetimi akeka ye ho apomudi adwumanu mu ama niema SCCE Ghana mampani nana adodankwa ekufuado adu show boy ena yetene nka ensemo wode etudwa wansanfo from no ye ko mrahye bedwafie na mrahye bedwafie odu hono ma edom kase hono mo ba no dani wono ene mrahye bedwani a wogina masoame abato mpeso aso wono anso so ene soafo a wo hwe mrahye bedwa ensem so na wode nsem bi atudwa nia owura oseche mensa bonsu eka ene se mrahye bedwa nia etoso enwotwe a wono mo eba bekoya wade ya wo besai eyade a wono behwe se obia be ma ne ho kwan no waye adwuma bomu na wodi ashaka biba menka bi emukina ewo mrahye bedwafie ho se ne ebe ya Ghana ebe fa ne ntoma pa ede efra wo se mrahye bedwa empanimfo no ebe hwe se won betoto ne omanyina wo wura yi a wono waye mrahye bedwa empanimfo ni bia edom kase ba no dani waye chese ba empanini wo mrahye bedwafie dia wadi bia kire yi pamfie aduonu ya wo wonimde pa wo se eyade a mrahye bedwa etoso nwotwe no wono mo entoto na sekura asede ne amanne ne bibie eseso woye enkontabuo pepere ye ne nyina wode beye adwuma se ne beye beboa amaka bi mamenka bi ya hyemukina ewo mrahye bedwafie ene Ghana nyina ensem we nyina wode tudwa krokrokro adwumadie so bra wone Samuel Joaquin Bukim edi nkomo.
20 years I've been in the leadership of the party in parliament. For 4 times, I'm leadership. Mr. T as deputy whip, I'm a chief whip, I'm a deputy majority leader, I'm a minister of state. Last year, no, of Kufuor's administration, the bar minority, no, a minority leader for in 16 years. Then the Kufuor was fine by a majority leader in 20 out of 24 years. No correct. Nanka, may I make Pimodia, Nanka, me call into some other challenge from being in parliament as a leader. And no, And the president who is the leader of the party, and so he didn't come on. I say, many of them, they be every day, you know, I say, you have to say, if you are in the meeting, I put to a million, I say, if you are ready, the travel, going forward, you know, you say, they be a happy dreams, you know, and pursue a greater obligation on the majority caucus and as the ruling party members. That then say, as you move, that I will be a home, I say, in a bear, doing a bear, no, bear taught. I will continue to do that. Then a bear, can me keep in a bishop.
Yes, Swami Mrashebedwani yasan ato aba ede yi nuo Mrashebedwa ne etoso nwotwe wo san kwa kwogina mu ora oseiche mensa bonsu majority leader na yete ne nka no na emranimu ni ya eba amanyosemu a woka ede ekọ New Patriotic Party emu ekakra ene lawyer Kwame Adofo wode nsem bi atodwa no pa kokroko dwumade so ebra Samuel Joakim Bukim ene no edi nkomo na wo busa ne se abatuo komisa aba ye 2 ye wo hwe se ne esikoye any opposition amanyokuo kase National Democratic Congress NDC won mo so se ne awosi eye ani ade a se ne okono so yo abatuo komisa se ne won mo esitakre no na maami na wabon na ade kakre obeye no ayamfomso na abai se ne osi bobo no kra de ntwa yie ye nte ase he mentimi na mo atom agumontin so ye wasi ni nyina na hu hia ade bi asa demonstration a wo mu ye nyina na hu hia na nim so be kokoto a wo yere de sa ye den kokoto e na kokoto nhwenko asem ma ho na ye ka bibia kra wo meyi a ye wo mu yi Ghana mra a kase e friend constitution no eka sa abatu ho nsense wonti bibia se Supreme Court eno ni court kase pa eho ena sasa wode kro se ne ebe ya ajagefo ebetena se akeka wonti apa mo ahwe na ba bi eda no wode ato na mami je mensa mo bo ni di wasi ni nyina na nya ade a ehu ehia
for relief now NDC was seeking relief number 1 almost seeking declaration electoral commission make any constitution no ebra meanwhile constitution we article 633 now mo kana enka declaration wo hwe let's think oboko no mkase oni akro na o claim so a president elect when more than 50% no eti we meet constitutional requirement under article 633 and na so mo take president elect say when 50% plus 1 but we release now they don't attack him he actually attacking the EC, which is wrong. Yes, sir. Omokase, Major Mahama, Mijinai, na mi vote minya more than 50% plus 1. It's the president elect. Not Supreme Court to share no question of count to more than 50%. Supreme Court will declare you as president.
Lawyer Kwame Adofo lawyer ni mapa na mote se wo kasa yi a na wo kire mu senia ensam no kura wi ase wo mo de koye no senia omusi kru kire no kura no ankoba senia na wo mo ekeka wo kire mu de ekire Ghana fo nyina na mwadwenkyire amode aba na medi tudwe sanse kase ebo emenemu a na edi kasubom Kwame Adumakon wose wo hwe yen live efi Ashtown Nyaminshira Nana Adodanko Akufuado ene na ban Cruise Blinks Nail Pope wono so wose news no ye live wo Enomere store wo Afrancho wose NDC phone case bia wo mu ensua bibi emfa emfree 2012 de no na wo hu se wanyintum won madintwo na yenko yanim wose Nana Ado ye de ya obesai se Ghana mampeni abefe bonali listowell so wose amenya akomechiaw meje so papa wose wo hwe ye live edi fi antoa adesena ana wose ane omampeni ya toaba ene ede yinuo Ghana mampeni Nana Ado Dankwa Akufuado enu nti emfi a ya tode yinu so omfantena so de betena so abato no awia bomu na bibia mu da ho Dr. Abedi Kwada so ye freno police ni nedro no ane ne mra ne sa na wode gene ho ene wose woda nyame ase pa ene Ghana fodo a wo mo wo edema omampeni Nana Ado Dankwa Akufuado na wo mo agina tum ato abakokromoti pa wade ama no se wonto aso emfie nan biom wose omo ayade pa Nana Ado wose enne ensem a wodi tu dwai na emu da ho na emu hwam nyame enhyiraw awuja ke dilali en wose wo hwe live edifi brekum Spring of Life Enterprise testing news angazangasa awunya awuja yeda se papa kase ebo no esi ensemo a yede ebaaye ne ana edimu akotene ene se Ghana abato a yeto ya fie twa mu omampani enne ne nsem odi tu dwa no wo si emu eda ho pa eno eda nchen COVID-19 yi ababe ha adwene omampani kirema wo si sikasam obefa omampani adwen fie mense edikan wotutu ni yie pa COVID ba ya fi bi esan ema etiko forma fe de ewia Wasai etwaso se better than Ghana ha enwumahia nam ne mapa wode egu akwan mu ntino ene ewu wie senior higher mutimi nya adwuma eye na yakom na shebedwa fie so a eye mra shebedwa mu edom kase no ba no dani honorable oseche mensa bonsu wakasa no pay wose mra shebedwa ne etoso nwotwe no wonmo ebeye adwumaden enkabomu ekwan so amaka bi mamenka bi amamuo no emu etim na Ghana afa ne ntoma pa efra enwa ikwa wadaroma waso masne no miensa kase eboemu ye special ice drinking water special ice mineral water yensu projin edukromu nsuo pebinom na fa bisum abusua no na ye wa special drinks eno so dokodoko nsa ye anoni a eda ahodi wom ye wo malt ye wo energy drink ye wo cola apple ye wo orange ene ye wo ginger ye kama pa bomodin ase wo beje wo de fra 0241 774825 0201 301228 and 0201 301229 21st clinic ese eba sciatica wonuma bin papa ewo se woto ase eye wo ya ediba wo nan kokomu abesi wo nase na woje wo ho a enye wo se wo ba wonomo ebehwew wosan yarewa huduo bebre nso efiri yetiri so ebesi ye nase wo won fidi a wode eye adwuma ye hwehwemu ansan wode aduro wode akan eno ye massaging o machine so a wode eye treatment ye de wo hyemu a eyi wo ya de nyina na akire aduro a ye mfa kan wo wosan wo 21st canteen ye anuane a ede wonomo eserve bi ewo ho ba ku fufuo emo ampesie ni ade wahita Ghana fa na nyina enkran domi market eye heavy do edan no emu kumase ya ehwan overseas wotoa ultra alpha radio to so pe sunwane owo ho techiman go so sehwi wo 0501 311 311 obeje wo so ewie aseda sonko ye de masemu for Kenneth obey the master planner otobrosie kwadwobu adu original wogina mu pa ne wabo adwuma ena afi abina ejapoma ena Kwame Welder ena social media no so ototo nioma mia mikenkai mamu media bronoma sikansu amenya kwatifa mama munyina monitia enyado
Kennedy Tastelite Niema F